As I lay in bed watching the footage of my soon-to-be ex-wife, tangled in the embrace of our neighbor and his wife, in the very cottage that once belonged to us, a sharp clarity washed over me. It was time to make them feel the full weight of the chaos they had sunk into. I reached for my phone and dialed my wife's number. I saw her glance at the screen, smirk, and decline the call without even pausing her involvement with Jacob. It was clear she didn't want to hear from me, so I shifted my focus to someone else. I called Linda, Jacob's wife, who lay right next to mine, seemingly indifferent to her husband's participation in the betrayal of my spouse. She answered, confused by the unfamiliar number. "Linda," I began in a calm tone, "put me on speaker and hand the phone to the woman next to you." There was a long pause as she recognized my voice. Reality hit her like an electric shock. Silently, she handed the phone to my wife, who, now visibly shaken, tried to compose herself before turning on the speaker. "Ava, listen carefully. Don't come home. Don't try to contact me or look for me again. You are dead to me, and soon you will be dead to everyone else in your life. For the record, I never cheated on you. That lie was concocted by your so-called friends to clear the way for Jacob to get into bed with you." I paused, maintaining the same calm tone. "Now hand the phone to Jacob. This message is for all of you." Ava's face turned pale, and she attempted to say something, but I didn't give her the chance. "Don't even try to explain. I've seen everything." Leaning closer, I continued in a measured voice, "That little cottage where you've been hiding these past few weeks, it was equipped with audio and video recordings. Every moment of your filthy affair for the past 6 months has been captured. Let that sink in while you get dressed and pass the phone to your lover." I watched the grainy screen as the blood drained from her face. She turned to Jacob, panic in her eyes, and whispered, "He knows. He's been watching us." With trembling hands, she handed him the phone, her eyes darting around the room in search of cameras. Before Jacob could utter any excuse or explanation, I interrupted him. "Jacob, you're a fool. Here's what you need to figure out right now. Do you have enough money and gas to get out of the country? Because from this moment on, the hunt for you three has begun. I don't make empty threats, and don't even think about coming back to this neighborhood." I kept talking, my voice remaining calm and steady. "Don't bother coming back for your things or trying to sell your house. It's already burning. Don't bring Linda here. And don't dare bring Ava. I don't want to see the three of you ever again. Your only option is to run, and run fast, because when I catch up to you, you'll find out what I learned while at war, how to make people miserable." Jacob tried to say something, but I continued. "As for your wife and my soon-to-be ex, I wouldn't take either of them back for anything in the world. Here's some advice. It's easier to run alone than to drag 2 unfaithful women with you." I could feel the silence and fear radiating from them through the phone. "If they're still with you when I catch up, they'll get the same treatment. I've seen and heard enough over the last 3 months for my rage to burn against all 3 of you." I paused, letting them absorb my words. "You have 20 minutes to leave my house. The countdown starts now." The tension on the other end of the call was almost palpable. "You don't know where I am, do you?" I added, letting them feel the uncertainty. "I could be at home, or I could be just around the corner. Start running, Jacob." I didn't wait for a reply and hung up. Clearly flustered, Jacob grabbed the remote and turned on the TV as I instructed. On the screen they saw a live broadcast, the 3 of them frozen, staring at their own images. Realization hit quickly. Linda, turning pale, dialed her mother's number. After a few rings, Sophie answered, her voice full of panic. She had been trying to reach them for hours. "The house burned down. It's completely destroyed, reduced to ashes. Nothing survived." Linda stood there, barely breathing. Then, with a trembling voice, she asked, "Mom, what were you doing with Jacob every Tuesday?" The line went silent for a moment. Then Sophie sighed heavily and hung up without saying another word. When Linda turned around again, she was alone. Jacob had bolted, rushing toward the door. All she caught was a glimpse of his disappearing figure as he ran to the car. He took nothing but the clothes on his back, and a little cash. The two women were left with nothing. No car, no money, no credit cards, no way out. As Jacob's car disappeared in the distance, Ava screamed in pure rage. "You liars, both of you. Now I've lost everything. My husband, my marriage, my entire life." Though I felt a slight twinge of disappointment that Jacob had abandoned them, I knew it wasn't over yet. Linda, still as naive as ever, tried to calm Ava down. "Stop being so dramatic, Ava," she scoffed. "It was just fun. No one's going to die over this, and no one got seriously hurt." But before she could finish her thoughts, the ground shook with a massive explosion. Jacob's car had crashed into a concrete pillar and burst into flames. Ava, pale with fear, turned to Linda, her voice barely audible. "Did I destroy a 35-year marriage because of you?" This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.